Yo, Big Kish back up in here. Biggie Small's son just came out and revealed some shocking new details about Faith Evans, P. Diddy, and Biggie Smalls. Check this out, y'all. This is about to get deep. Before we get into that, y'all make sure y'all go purchase a copy of Street Dad, Geek Dad, Avoiding the Manufactured Mindset, written by me, Big Kish. The link will be in the description for purchase. I appreciate everybody for their support. Y'all ain't gonna believe this right here. I told you, as this trial continues, people that's been surrounded by Diddy, people that surrounded Diddy, they're gonna start popping out and showing ninjas. Do not click off this video. Y'all know I'm like holding y'all. Without further ado, let's get it.
The significance of this legacy, like probably around 15. I want to say 15 when it really set in, like when my grandma sat me down, talked to me. Like,
Diddy told her he was gonna kill Biggie. She knew it was gonna happen. She was purposefully not by her husband's side that night.
When you have such a history with Diddy who's being honored, what is a moment that you look back from in the past and you're like, man, if you could have told us then we'd be at Mrs. Party, he was gonna be honored, like we would have been shook.
Little bit.
She look a little mad. Y'all remember they used to get into it. Look how mad she was looking. Check it out. Look. She ain't smiling or nothing. Look at him. Y'all know he cool with Diddy.
And we'd be at Mrs. Party, he was gonna be honored, like we would have been shook.
Little big, little Diddy, CJ, Christian, little Diddy. We just out here doing what we do.
So Biggie's son, CJ Wallace, is saying some things that have people seriously talking about his mom, Faith Evans, and her connection to Diddy. So according to what's going around, CJ basically hinted that Faith might have betrayed Biggie and that Diddy had something to do with it. Now, CJ has always kept things low-key, but sources close to him are saying he never believed the official narrative behind Biggie's death, and he suspected Diddy had something to do with it. And according to these sources, CJ believes Big was surrounded by fake love, and that some of those people were inside his own house. And then there's the Stevie J angle. Remember when Faith married him out of nowhere back in 2018? Well, CJ was not happy about it, and he publicly talked about being hurt that his mom married Stevie. Faith didn't even tell CJ she was getting married. In fact, he found out about it the same time we all did on social media. And what makes this even messier is that Stevie J is actually CJ's godson. Now, if you've been following all the Diddy mess lately, then you
It's coming out, y'all. It's coming out. Did Diddy send Faith to Biggie? Because you know when you marry somebody, or was they divorced before he passed? I think they still was married. It's the same thing that the higher ups do. They send you the wife. They dag on there tell you who to marry. Remember, Cat Williams was exposing this on Club Shay Shay. You marry somebody, who get all the money?
You already know Stevie J wasn't just some random dude. He was super close to Diddy for years, and he helped build the whole bad boy sound back in the 90s. But here's where it gets crazy. Rumors about Stevie being on the DL have been around forever, and allegedly, Stevie was one of the guys who used to take part in Diddy's freak-off parties, and it doesn't stop there. Stevie stayed close with Diddy even when things started falling apart. In fact, when the feds raided Diddy's house last March, they found Stevie staying at one of his cribs. So now connect the dots. CJ is hurt that Faith married a guy from Diddy's inner circle, and he's saying Biggie was betrayed by people in his own home. It's not hard to see why some folks think he's pointing the finger without actually saying names. But this is just the tip of the iceberg, because CJ himself has faced rumors about his sexuality, and some sources have even speculated that this had something to do with Diddy and Stevie J being around him growing up.
But I know some blogs are kind of said some mean things about your son and tried to say that he was gay. How do you feel about that? 'Cause I think it's rude, and people just insensitive in these blogs just talk so about it. Do you have any response to that?
No, I don't really feel a way about it. We know where he is. If he was, I would support him and love him just the same. So
now the question is, did Diddy somehow force Faith to marry Stevie to keep her from talking about Biggie's death? Was Faith blackmailed, or was she just playing both sides the whole time? Let's get into
man. Something up with that Faith, man. Something up with that Faith Evans now. Something up with that Faith.
these receipts, y'all.
I know my father is looking down on all of us tonight in all of this love and support. My sister and I will continue to carry on his name with tremendous pride and live my life by his words.
Give it up for CJ.
So there's been talk going around that CJ Wallace, Biggie and Faith Evans' son, has been quietly pulling away from his mom. And the rumor is that CJ's been keeping his distance ever since stories started resurfacing that Faith may have known more about Biggie's death than she ever let on. Some folks online are saying Faith was way closer to Diddy behind the scenes. And allegedly, she knew the night Biggie got wasn't just bad luck, but that it was a setup. People are pointing out how weird it was that Big didn't want to go to LA in the first place because he knew how tense things were after Pac died, but Diddy kept pushing him to go there. Jaguar Wright even claimed that Diddy directly told Faith that Biggie was going to die that night.
Ask me how much different.
Dang. That hit different, y'all.
Faith life. Her whole life look, career look. Diddy told her he was going to kill Biggie. Ooh. She knew it was going to happen. She was purposefully not by her husband's side that night.
Dang!
It happened, and she was told she had to lie about it.
Now, mix that with Faith being tied to both Diddy and later Stevie J, and the fact that Faith still hasn't publicly condemned Diddy, and the pieces start to look really shady. Fans also noticed that CJ rarely posts with or about Faith anymore, hasn't celebrated her publicly in years, and keeps things really surface level when it comes to her. What's also interesting is Stevie J's role in all this because, as Jaguar pointed out, Faith and Stevie never made sense as a couple, the same way Faith and Biggie didn't make sense. And according to Jaguar, Faith was basically used by Diddy as a pawn so he could get rid of both Pac and Diddy and keep profiting off of Biggie's music.
Let's be honest about Faith Evans. How does a woman with that much talent end up married to somebody like Stevie J? Really?
Proximity?
Or maybe years ago, you decided to be a hip-hop plant because you didn't think your light-skinned face was ever going to get a real shot. And so you took that shot. You were a single mom, and your back was up against the wall. That lie held up until that boy turned 18, and he started.
Dang, y'all. Y'all gotta pick up what she putting down. We gotta connect these dots. We must do the education. I'm telling you.
Having ideas of what he wanted to do with what he inherited. Because the paperwork was set up for Faith to not be able to receive $1 from Biggie's estate unless it was for little Christopher. And she only had one child with Christopher. The other children who were.
Oh yeah, Biggie had a daughter too. I think that was his daughter. P. Diddy coerced a lot of things behind the scenes. I'm talking about the evil things as well as like videos and all that. That's the little videos, that's play for him. I'm talking about the money schemes and stuff like that. Gotta check this out, man.
Quiet, taking care of and feeding and all of that. All of them couldn't be fed off of Christopher Wallace's money. They weren't his kids. See how that works? Right. It didn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. Her and Biggie. Yeah. It didn't make any sense to anyone. It shouldn't have made any sense to them because they were married in 10 days. It's funny, when you ask Faith how long her and Biggie was together before they got married, the story changes every time. I'm not saying that she didn't develop feelings for him. I'm not saying that she didn't care about the father of her son. I'm saying she was hired for one job. Her being involved with Pac in the midst of all of that. But she didn't know Pac was Pac. I mean, come on, none of it makes sense. What really does make sense is that Diddy has had a long career of using to trap into making them do what he wants to do or using them to move them out the way. How is Faith Evans any different than Lauren London?
Now, if you were around during that time, then you know...
That's exactly what I was thinking. That was exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking the same thing. Lauren London is starting to come out, yo. And now I just seen something with some old records, some old charges with Nipsey starting to come out, yo. There's some old charges with that. I'm gonna wait till I react to it.
Biggie and Faith really never made sense. And she even wrote in her book that they were never together and he was always allegedly cheating on her. Of course, that doesn't mean Faith actually set him up to be killed. But it raises some questions about her connection to Diddy and how much she really knew about Diddy's alleged plan to get rid of Biggie and Pac. So here's a little background. Back in 1993, Faith moved out to LA and started doing backup vocals for R&B singer Al B. Sure. And shortly after that, she found her way on Diddy's radar. Diddy brought her in to lay down some background vocals. And apparently, just after one studio session, he signed her right then and there. She became the very first woman artist on Bad Boy Records, which has always made some fans wonder what really went down behind the scenes.
So everybody could hear me. So when I went in and did these two lines and rearranged them, I asked him, Mr. Puff, you mind if I change it around a little bit? And
Mr. Puff. P. Diddy knew that she admired him. Soon as she said Mr. Puff, she probably was vulnerable. Hey, P. Diddy he wants me to do a vocal? Oh, wow. That's why y'all youngins out here, y'all trying to get in the industry. Don't show these people that you sweating them. You know what I'm saying? Like you all up in arms for these people because they gonna take advantage of you. Now they know when it's time to negotiate, they gonna lowball you. They gonna lowball you because they know you admire them. Don't go admiring nobody like that. He took advantage. I already know what he did.
And I did, and I added all my arrangements and harmonies. And when I came out, he asked me, did I want to sign his new label? Just like that.
So in 1994, the same year Diddy signed Faith to Bad Boy, she met Biggie Smalls at a photo shoot. And the craziest thing happened. They ended up getting married just a few weeks later. Around the same time, she was doing background vocals and co-writing songs for Mary J. Blige's My Life album and Usher's debut. And on top of all that, she was working on her own music. Her debut album dropped in August 1995 and blew up with hits like You Used to Love Me and Soon as I Get Home. It went platinum, selling over 1.5 million copies. Then in 1996, Faith and Biggie had a son, CJ Wallace. But by then, things between them were already getting messy. Biggie was out here cheating with multiple women, including Lil' Kim. And according to the rumors, Faith got back at him by hooking up with Tupac. Allegedly. That move pulled Faith right...
Allegedly. I wonder if it benefits Puff if he signed a married couple. I wonder, do that benefit him, contract-wise? Is he able to get more credit for them? That's something to look into.
Right into the middle of the East Coast, West Coast beef. And we all know how that ended. Two rap legends gone way too soon. And a whole lot of unanswered questions. On September 7th, 1996, Tupac was shot and killed in a drive-by in Vegas. And just 6 months later, on March 9th, 1997, Biggie was gunned down in LA. And after Biggie's death, Faith started speaking out about how Diddy treated her during that time. In an interview with the New York Times, she said Diddy started acting controlling and weird, even making her go tanning every other day. Puff used to walk me to the tanning salon every other day because I was pale and he wanted to tan me up, Faith said.
Oh! That's wrong. Dang, he said you walking around here looking like Casper. We gotta put some sun on you. Dang.
And he told me he wanted me to walk out of the house and look glamorous all the time. Another thing that got people side-eyeing Diddy is how fast he moved on after Biggie died. Right after the funeral, he was already pushing Faith to perform I'll Be Missing You with him and Sting at the 1997 MTV Awards. And Faith said she wasn't ready at all. She was still in deep mourning, but Diddy kept pressing her until she finally gave in. Faith told The Times, when he wanted me to sing I'll Be Missing You at the MTV Awards with Sting, I didn't want to do anything. I was still grieving. But he got me on the phone and was like, listen, you ain't about to F up my thing. I thought my crying would work, but he persuaded me to do it. Now, around that time, a lot of people were already whispering that Diddy might have had something to do with Biggie's death, or at least he knew it was coming. See, Diddy was the one who told Biggie to go to LA, even though things were still hot over there after Tupac's murder. Former Bad Boy executive Kirk Burroughs claimed that Biggie was actually supposed to fly to London the day he was killed, but last minute, Diddy made sure he stayed in LA.
He was supposed to leave that early morning, go to London, and we would be out there for 2 or 3 days, and then he would go back to New York and go home. Diddy called Sean P. Diddy, whatever his name was during that time, called late Friday night, early Saturday morning, saying he's not going to London. Call Arista, cancel it. You go. You represent it. You go. He's not going. He wants to stay here in LA.
And even Biggie's mom, Valletta Wallace, had her doubts. And she wrote in her memoir, I believe Sean loved my son after he was dead. I used to tell Christopher all the time not to trust Sean. And while Valletta never came out and directly blamed Diddy, in her 2020 interview on The Breakfast Club, she admitted she still wants to strangle some of the people who were around Biggie back then.
You know, some of some of his associates, I still want to strangle them.
Now, going back to Faith, she's hinted here and there over the years that she didn't love how Diddy acted after Biggie's death, but she never really cut ties with him. She stayed close, kept working with him, and even praised him publicly.
Puffy gave you your start. Now, P. Diddy.
Yes.
Well, how do you think of him? P. Diddy or Puffy?
I still call him Puff.
You still call him Puff? Mm-hmm. So he gave you your start, and you're still great friends?
Yeah, I actually saw him the other night. I stopped by a studio session he was at to tell him that I wanted him to come to my show at the House of Blues next week. So, yeah, we keep in touch. He sends my kids Christmas gifts.
Now, fast forward to 2018, and out of nowhere, news breaks that Faith got married to Stevie J in Vegas.
Something fishy, y'all. Something is definitely fishy. Something is fishy.
And this move caught everybody off guard. TMZ reported at the time that even their families had no clue this was happening. No one had heard a word about a wedding, not even a rumor. Faith was supposed to be in LA prepping for a trip to London, and Stevie was in Atlanta filming Love and Hip Hop. And suddenly, they're hitched in Vegas. Sources told TMZ that the people closest to them were not happy, especially their kids.
You know what I'm thinking about? I'm thinking about car insurance, right? There's an incentive if you're married versus if you're single. If you're married, the car insurance be less because you got an extra partner that can help you with your insurance, right? So it does do something like that applies to like with the record business. If you married, there's some certain incentives that you get incentivized. Certain, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm putting together because this is wild right here. Diddy know something that everybody else don't know, that he been taught by them other people, them higher ups.
TMZ even reported that Biggie's son CJ was especially upset because Stevie J is actually his godfather. On top of that, insiders revealed that Stevie showed up just a few days before the wedding and told Faith they needed to get married right then and there. And one source said that's because Stevie knew if Faith gave people a heads up, her friends and family would have tried to shut it down. And looking back, this low-key sounds like the kind of manipulation Stevie could have learned from Diddy. So yeah, like I said, this whole marriage made zero sense, especially if you've heard those rumors that Stevie J wasn't really into women. And don't forget, even after Diddy got hit with that federal indictment, Stevie was still out there defending him. He even went on TMZ after the raids and said he never saw Diddy do anything shady. Plus, he called out 50 Cent as an Uncle Tom for speaking against Diddy.
I don't know whatever someone does in their bedroom, that's what they do. I don't got nothing to do with that. I'm just here to say that I've never seen.
No, Ninja, you got everything to do it. We seen you and Eve. Y'all remember back in the day that tape with him and Eve came out? Yeah, we know what you. Yeah, you know we know you be moisturized too, Ninja. We know you be baby oiled up as well.
My man doing anything foul like they talking about. And then it's like with guys like 50, you know what I'm saying? Like Uncle Tom cats like that. I just look at it as, he wants to bring the black community down worse than anyone else.
Now, going back to CJ Wallace.
Don't try to put the black community in what you and Diddy be doing behind them doors. You and Diddy be doing behind them doors with that oil.
Fans are also now starting to wonder how much influence Diddy and Stevie J had over him. And they're also wondering why Faith let Diddy spend so much time around her son while he was growing up.
Happy to be home in New York. Been in LA for a while, but I'm back. Chilling, kicking with the homies. Josh, bro.
It's Josh, brother.
Right? Back.
It's Lil D-Rock. It's Lil B.
You listen.
Yeah. Yeah, but we having a good time, man.
Look at Lil Diddy. hey, look, he look just like his daddy, boy. Hey, look at Lil Diddy.
Look out for this chance, watch you on the ride. We just on the check-in, you know what I'm saying? I just want to show you how we doing it. How the fruit don't fall that far from the tree.
Knowing what we know now about Diddy's sketchy behavior behind the scenes, especially around young artists, it's hard not to be suspicious. Diddy became a major figure in CJ's life after Biggie died, and Faith was right there the whole time, part of that inner circle, which means she had to have seen or at least heard about all the crazy stuff Diddy was up to. And still, CJ was around Diddy a lot, sometimes even when Faith wasn't around. So with all the new info coming out about Diddy, people are definitely starting to question the choices Faith made back then. But let me hear your thoughts on all this. Was Faith just doing what she had to do to protect her son and survive in a shady, male-dominated industry? Or was she willingly playing along with Diddy's demands to keep her career alive? And what about those rumors that she knew about the plot on Biggie's life before it happened? Allegedly.
Yeah, man. Hey, look.
Leave your comment.
Allegedly. I don't know. You never know what goes on behind closed doors, but I'm going to tell you this. It's something fishy going on, and the party must die. Somebody's lying. And as 2025 continues, oh boy, this Diddy trial, there's a lot of people that's going to be coming out about this Diddy stuff, y'all. Faith Evans is one of them. I know a lot of people, who was it? It was Foxy Brown came out. I ain't like none of these other people. I keep it solid. I'm going to hold my secrets till I go. Look, there's a lot of people like that, and there's a lot of people that's going to tell it. They're going to tell it. But we here for the people that's going to tell it, because we here, because we nosy. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think. Was it some shady business dealings? Of course it was. Allegedly. But I already know. Diddy had something going on. He had something going on. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I'm going to leave a link in the description. Big Kish signing out. I'm going, y'all.